Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And as we start this program, we welcome you to pick up your telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, whether it is Iran and Israel, and some of the headlines you observing. Iran and Israel offered it at the United Nations Security Council. Tension escalates. Middle East on the edge. These are some of the reactions. Some countries want Israel to not to respond to that attack. The Jews have a history. If you hit me, I will hit you back. So it's a lot of hard-headed individuals between Israel, Iran, Hamas, and a number of countries do not want this war to escalate. We have people in Grenada who I have not heard any one of them react to the fact that Iran sent over 300 missiles and projectiles on Israel. I have not even heard Father Jerry speak about it. Several days ago, he seems that he was upset with the hierarchy of the church for not condemning Israel. But I've not heard him now. I don't know if he's happy that Iran attacked Israel. So these are some of the issues. We're on RealFM 91.9. We're on YouTube and Facebook. We always encourage you to subscribe to RealFM, share our program, like our program. Even if you don't like the program, tell a friend about it and see if they agrees with you. On this program, we do our utmost to speak the truth. We are not operating from a script, so there are times when we may get it wrong. And we encourage you to correct us immediately. We propagate the view that we must respect one another in Grenada. We must not openly disrespect people. There are times when we're going to make mistakes because we are not perfect. And this is why we speak so unreservedly against the government policies. And we believe the government is showing open disrespect to other people. And their government is embracing individuals who are disrespecting people with impunity. We're totally against these things. If we don't, it's going to backfire on us. If we go around disrespecting our elders, it's going to backfire on us. If we disrespecting the politicians we don't like, it's going to backfire on us. Already NDC is having a taste of it because they have been extremely disrespectful. And now their leaders are getting the same attack. We have to do better. We need to try to do better. And we need to condemn it when it comes at a higher level. At the low ground level, you could deal with it. But when a government seems to be propagating disrespect, it filters down on the ground into almost a type of militancy. I'm concerned. I was in town when the revolution was around. I saw the level of disrespect and bad treatment meted out to villagers. We have not recovered from it. And now we have a government that established a system, a policy, entrenching a policy of political mischief and political vengeance. And we're against that. One of the issues we have to pay attention to in Grenada is unemployment. When unemployment is high, in any country, it could give rise to crime. The expert will tell you there's a direct relationship between high unemployment, particularly among the younger population, and crime. If unemployment is high, you're going to see more vagrancy in this town. Grenada already have the most home for the age in this country, in the region. The most home for the age in the region. And if you have high unemployment is persistent, then you're going to have more people fighting to go in the homes because they can't take care of themselves. Their children don't have enough income to help them. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, the last election that I know about it was in 2022, and there was no by-election that took place. And in the last election, LMP got 6 seats and the Sing get 9. And I know St. John not was winning the seat. Well, I heard someone was saying that he is a parliamentary Balako. So I don't know, because I know definitely whenever any election took place and Northwest had to do what they do, and someone always involved. So I know there was a man that was dreaming that he is a parliamentary rep. Right? And I know Dr. Mitchell is presently the parliamentary rep that won his seat with the biggest margin. And Dr. Mitchell, when you look at Dr. Mitchell, he's not a one that represents St. John Northwest. That by fitting them. He represents people of St. John Northwest with distinction. He find work for them to take care of the family, to give the family a better living condition. But presently, there's someone that's going out. The same set of people who get rid of many of the young people that was employed. The parents that was employed, father and mother that was employed, they send them home. Now. But presently, what they are doing now, 13, free this, free that. What you will prefer? Not for you to keep your job, that you get money, when fortnight rate, that you could maintain your household. After the same set of people get rid of you, get rid of many young people that was working, the father and mothers at home that was working and they send them home. Right? They don't working or they don't have a job. You want to call them people to come and let us go and fed, free this. Yes, they go and fed and eat and drink. After that, the next half an hour, they very empty. They go home with the same problem. Nothing to get for their children. So when you look at what is going on, is a government that came in governance, get rid of many of the young people that are working, the elders that was working, and the home. We call them not to go and fit. I always say in life, better you find work for people to do, so that when they get a salary, they can find shelter, clothing, food, and the family to have a proper meal and to get them to send their children to school.
Yes.
Then you're going to fit. The same money you're taking a fit. Why you don't take him and give them money or get some work? If you government in power now, find something for them to do so they can get a proper salary to take care of somebody asking to go and fit. I want to say to the people of St. John's Northwest, anything they offer you, take it in 1 days. But make sure, and not only to St. John's Northwest, for the whole of Greater Carrick and Peter Martin, they give you money, take it. When coming election, you know where to put a vote. Put a vote not for the party, not for the candidate that's fetting you. And same candidate who fetting them are the same one who took away your job from you. But vote for the party, the candidate that will providing you with a job so that you're able to take care of a family.
Yes,
and
thank you,
a better living condition.
Yes, I think we have to recognize the fact that you live in a democratic country, so people could claim anything. You know, you don't have to be the parliamentary representative to claim you are. We are establishing new negative template in our country. When the Prime Minister say Piti Matnik, Karikou, Grenada, he continued to say that when it is convenient. We had a situation where a popular radio station in Karikou was advocating that the island should get independence from Grenada. And one famous lawyer, he said he don't care whether they align to Australia and New Zealand. So you have some people who are what we might consider very influential people in the society, making some statements that you can't believe come from their mouth. But it's a democratic country. There is not much you could do about it. And this statement that take what they give you and vote them out, that has been a statement that has been with us a very, very long time, and it plays around on almost all different sides. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, good afternoon to the On Target family. Mr. Pierre, I am one person that will sit down and ponder on things that is happening around the political atmosphere in the Caribbean and around the world. And one of the main things that we will hear about politicians is the policies and actions therein afterwards. And then secondly, you will hear about the politicians' age, right? In the Caribbean, we have politicians. Our system is basically run by the Westminster situation that 5 years, you have an election and so forth and so forth. And prime ministers or leaders will emerge from political parties and they will appoint ministers who run with their party. The age group thing. Most prime ministers in this Caribbean right now is above the age of 50. I mean, very few that is under 40. I think none is under 40 right now. So you have 47 go up. In Trinidad, you have one, he's 77, 74, 75. You have one in Grenada that is 47. You have one in St. Vincent that is 77 or going there about, right? Then you see world leaders, like for instance, the Donald Trump, the Biden, 81, 78, and so forth and so forth. Now, my question is, if age is a problem, or age was a problem, how are these leaders getting elected by the people? Because if election is free and fair, and age is supposed to determine how you govern, why are these people getting voted into office? And why are they staying here so long? In our case in Grenada, I was saying Grenada, we had a prime minister that was basically there, 6 terms, 5 terms? And he win all these elections fair and square. Likewise, this one here. I think the only prime minister in Grenada that didn't win an election was Mr. Bishop. He took by decree, right? So why no? Everything in life is a learning process. Why no? If a certain gentleman decide to do a podcast or a radio program, why other people is getting angry at this gentleman? Why they want to give advice to this gentleman? Mr. Pierre, you can go to school. You can go to school and learn at 90 years. Education is never finishing. You can learn at 90. You can graduate at 100. You can go to school at 101. Once your mind, your faculty is good, you can do it. The narrative that we have that you're too old, that is what beating us in. Because we clearly see what youthness and youth inexperience is causing on this island of Grenada, Karikou, and Piti Matnik right now. We are seeing it in broad daylight. You are seeing decisions being made in haste. You are seeing decisions being made probably in hate. You are seeing decisions made in malice, right? In different countries, like for instance, Africa and these countries, these continents, you have leaders that will lead basically forever. They don't want to go. But we have a democratic process called election. If a gentleman is voted out, he's voted out. Why do you have a problem with a guy trying something new? That's my question, Mr. Pierre.
Caller, you have to understand that we have been attacking the elderly in Grenada for a long time, and it's going to have serious negative consequences on us. And secondly, Dr. Mitchell is the most successful politician in Grenada and the Commonwealth. And a number of people have suffering from political jealousy. And they have been very successful using the negative propaganda. And I think these things you hear is just the propaganda machine that I work. And sometimes what needs to be done is to constantly educate the public about the negative consequences of these propaganda and call them out.
Mr. Pierre, in our island, our little island state of Greater Carriacou and Martinique, we have what we call the Prime Minister, who we will call honorable. You have senators, you will call them honorable. You are hearing people wrongfully calling Honorable Dicka Mitchell the most honorable Dicka Mitchell. The most, which is a distinction that is wrong, because that distinction is called the order of nation in our system. In places like Barbados, it's called the order of freedom. In the Bahamas, it's the order of nation. Where in the constitution of our island, look at Island Grenada, and those groups that like to they behind the scenes and pay the listening. Yes, we educated readers read also. Tell me where and how they can get this distinction of being called the most honorable. NDC goons and NDC propaganda machines, stop misleading your cult out there. Have a good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, so again, you have to understand that the National Democratic Congress have a history of planning lies. And I don't know why, but they have a history of planning lies. The time they take to sit down and plan lies, I believe they could sit down to come up with answers to address the challenges that we have. All the ministers, you see them blatantly just telling lies. I know that individuals have been just pointing out those lies. There are a number of times I hear people saying, no, what NNP did in the past, why is it necessary? Because the Prime Minister said they have done nothing since 1983. So people have to point out to them what they do. The level of disrespect that the NDC hierarchy have been showing to anybody else who seems or appear not to support them or slightly disagree with them is heartbreaking. And what is going to happen, you're going to have the NNP members returning the favor to them. Already they're getting a taste of their own medicine. And it is sad, the level of attack that have gone against the elderly. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother.
And to the list. Well, I'm sorry I didn't get to open back.
Well, you could come down one down.
I want to say, Mr. Pierre, well, we know in the Bible that God loved the whole world, that he gave the only begotten son, the only son he have, he gave it to die for us. He loved the whole world. But I believe God had a special love for Grenada, because God has given us a leader with vision for this country, a leader with plans for this country. And when I said to the most people, some of them say, oh, you want one man to rule forever. This is not the fact. Dr. Mitchell didn't only have ideas for Grenada. He had a vision like Eric Gehring. He had a vision. He had a plan for this country. He did not enter politics by a coincidence. He was placed there by the great Almighty. And I believe that according to my Bible. Let me tell you, I used to work in the Prime Minister's office some years back. And I heard Dr. Mitchell said, who was the minister, he said, you know what he observed? More women. When he launched this great program, as I'll always back you up, Mr. Pierre, like one of the best program institute in this country for a lot of years, the e-money program. He realized that women, 3/4 of that employees was women. Women that keep rushing for this job. Dr. Mitchell said, I was working at it and he said what? Men hardly come in for the work. More women are coming. He said, no, I have to plan something for young men. Otherwise, the women will not have good husbands. He said, going back to the drawing board, he have to get something for the young men. So this is what you call a man with vision. They said they had all the plans for Grenada before they get into office. Now they get into office, what happened? When you go to them, they blaming the past government. And they say they had a plan to fix all what is wrong. So now I want to call on Grenadians, call on young people to see that this government have no love for young people. No love. And we got to point out now the lies since now. Because the last election, we did not get the chance to defend the lie, so they get you. But now it is the right time now. When they come with a lie, we get on programs like your program and let the nation know that they come in with lies. So we expect the lie. We're going to block them with the lie since now and make them know that lie would not make them win again. Who want to challenge that? Challenge that. I thank you.
Yes, you didn't get the chance or you didn't take the chance. The NNP became complacent. They did not do the politics. They did a lot of work, but they did not do the politics. The pie in the sky lies, they did not challenge it. And that's why they lost the election. Not to say you didn't get chance. You didn't take the opportunity and the chance. You went to sleep. You get so accustomed with winning, you went to sleep. The level of attack, and this has been masterminded by the National Democratic Congress against the elderly in this country is not good. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, let me tell you something. All you mustn't talk about lies. Because the biggest lies I was telling you is the iron gas.
Caller.
The iron gas.
Caller.
Yes.
Caller, when I speak about Deacon and the lies he told, am I speaking the truth?
You're speaking the truth with what? What I tell?
I point out.
Tell me
you want me to tell you a series of lies he told?
Yes.
He told the public he campaigned on a policy of transformation. And so Deacon knew. Caller, you asked me to tell you the lie.
Tell me the lie.
And Deacon knew it was not transformation, it was restorative justice. That is deception of the worst kind. When Deacon said, I thought you want me to tell you the lie.
Well, go ahead. When you're lying on the man now. You're lying on the man now. Go ahead.
You see, what is sad in Grenada is that we like to run down the ordinary folks. The man who thief a blog, and then we have these guys with a briefcase, a certificate, lying for us. And I take objection to these individuals.
Tell us the lie.
Prime Minister.
We want to hear the lie.
When the Prime Minister said he's going to make them permanent, the Prime Minister was lying.
He going to do it. Mr. Pierre, the Prime Minister going to make some of the people permanent. What are you trying to tell me there? They go in Congress, they go in the party and pass legislation. So some of them in mind going to be permanent. What are you talking about? Lie.
Okay, Colin, thank you. Yeah, and that's one of the challenges we have. And I don't think some of the NDC supporters is seeking the interests of Deacon Mitchell. Deacon Mitchell has told so much lies, Deacon get tired. Deacon tie up like a crab. He tells so much lies that the other members of his team has lost respect for him. Deacon has told so much lies. He has told more lies than all politicians put together since 1967. If you have a prime minister and he is not believable, then what you have? He has deceived this country and he lied to the elderly, disadvantaged children, the Imanis, the workers on contract. He told lies to them. Deacon Mitchell is one of the most disrespectful leaders that passed in this country. Look at when he was speaking in Parliament and calling people beggy. And the classless, they refer to people as classless. How we could in Grenada, 50 years after independence, could be calling fellow Grenadians classless. Deacon came on the radio and tell people he did not even read the Samoa Agreement. When Deacon knew there was a third party that dictates what Grenada should do. I don't think the Minister of Foreign Affairs lied in. And it was difficult for him. He practically choked when he was on Forrester's program. You know, this is your prime minister. You have to start to nudge your prime minister and encourage him to discontinue this practice. If he discontinues the practice, maybe he might recover. Look at what they did to the Imanis. They set them up. They removed money from them. Some of them as much as $300. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
I listen to you. And I believe you don't know the difference between a lie and a promise. That is my consultation with you. You don't know the difference between somebody lie and a promise somebody make. If a man promises to do something, then a promise, you could have reason why he can do it. But a lie is something that happened already and he say it's not true. That is a lie. Mr. Pierre, we're speaking about a lie. This time, the federal government, they say to the Ghanaian people that the pension will cost $1.2 billion. Is that true, Mr. Pierre?
Caller,
Mr. Pierre,
hold on a while.
Yes.
I'll let you speak about this pension thing on a lot of occasions.
Yes, go ahead.
Listen to me now.
Go ahead.
And you ask Deacon how much the pension payment going to cost. Deacon, caller, what you need to do is to go and find out. You speaking about things you don't know. Deacon tricked them Grenadian. He lied to them. He knew the amount of money this thing will cost. And that's why they're in a bind now. That is why they're speaking about pension reform now. If he already paid the pension, why bother about reform? Deacon lie. And the time has come for you to know that. He tell lies on the pension issue. Go back and listen to what Richard Duncan said in his estimate of what it would cost. Richard Duncan worked in the Ministry of Finance and he knows. He paid the retroactive pay for some people 75 million. And now the enormity of the pension debacle start to come to realization. Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes, scholar, welcome. We lost that caller. You see, and that is what is sad. There are so much issues that is going on in Grenada that our people getting tricked right, left, and center. I spoke about NIS. Scholar, you would like to talk about NIS? NIS increase the amount of money people have to pay, but they also increase the age. So while you are cussing old people, you increase the age for them to get pension. You have a constant attack on the elderly in the country. Grenada had a retirement age of 60. So you have a lot of people that retired in Grenada at 60. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
That guy and I was speaking, and he always backing with the Prime Minister. If he don't know what's going on, he don't live in Grenada. He
Well,
don't live in Grenada.
I believe a lot of people have been misled on the pension issue.
Mr. Pierre, that government is the worst thing whatever passing creation. It worse than the revolution. Because this fella don't have no development in him. Because people who need help, they have 78 years, man just cut off them from the program. Yeah? When for you to give them a shilling, you give in a little children or just ban. And that's favor thing this man dealing with. This man is no good, man. No good. Yeah.
You see, that's one of the challenges we have in this country. And there's a lot of people who knows better. There's a lot of people on the NDC side now that they have to shut them out. They can't speak. Some of them must be so disappointed in Deacon's performance. We have attacked the elderly constantly in this country. And this thing was spearheaded by NDC. They attack those who retire. And now they have to use retirees more than the previous government was doing. They have to use individuals who retired more than the previous government doing. You're going to have a lot of disrespect for the elderly in this country. The NDC continue to, every time you believe they cannot get worse, they do something more awful. And it would be better for you to nudge them. If you support the NDC, nudge them, encourage them not to do these things. Otherwise, we're going to have an increase in crime in Grenada, an increase in social decadence. You're going to have more mental case. You're going to have more vagrancies. More people will be striving to go in homes because you have high unemployment. The government contributed to the increase in the cost of living. Since 1976 or 73, we started the National Importing Board. The revolution had the MNIB. And the objective was to keep basic food prices down. So sugar, flour, rice, milk, these basic food prices, government say, let us try to control these prices and keep it down. The government increased the price of water. They increased the price of sugar. Basic food prices, the government increased it. While they do that, they cut social programs. The government removed money from disadvantaged children. And they fired people who was working between 3 to 19 years. Now you're talking about people in the lower income group. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, we lost that caller. People in the lower income group. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes.
you talk about people in the low income group. Mr. Pierre, the people in the low income better off today than they was 10 years ago. Mr. Pierre.
Caller, the 31 workers some caller. The 31 workers from Grand Bay Estate, they better off?
They better off because when they go
they lost their job, they better off?
Mr. Pierre, there are 10,000 workers in this country in the lower income bracket. They used to work for $40 a day. Are you paying? Used to pay them $40 a day. 10,000 workers in. They pay them $40 a day. Today, you know what they're getting? Who working? $55 and $60 a day. They don't better have. They much better have. Mr. Pierre, the past government, they suffer them children in school. For 4.5 years, they don't give them a free meal.
Caller, that is not true. Caller.
Yes.
You hear I warn you. Let us. Caller, that is not true. That's not true. That is not true. You don't use this. Come on. I've been as flexible as I could with you. But there are things that you must not see. And it's not only in NNP or NDC, even way back in the days of Gary, even way back when children who couldn't pay for the lunch in school was given free meals. At one time, I remember in my school in the early days, they used to give you milk and biscuit. And when the revolution come, the same milk that was given free, the revolution renamed it to Pierre milk and gave the impression they that introduced it. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. What happened? Your radio is too loud, so you listen to your radio. And we have a delayed broadcast. So please call us back again and turn down your radio when you call us and listen on the phone. Yes, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you see that they increase the price of sugar and then you still buy the sugar and sell it. And
culture.
You selling
culture. Did they increase the price of sugar?
Huh?
Did they increase the price of sugar? Did the government of Grenada increase the price? Culture, man. Culture.
Buy the bag of sugar and still sell it.
Culture. When I speak, if I'm not speaking the truth, challenge me. Am I speaking the truth when I say the government?
Well, he's increased the price of sugar. That's why some people
culture man.
Away from sugar.
Culture man. You on radio a lot. You live in the community. The government increased the price of sugar, water, and electricity.
I tell you that he increased the price of sugar, and more sugar increase and more people buy the sugar because for the Christmas gone, the sugar run out, all supermarkets, all groceries, all shops.
That is not true.
And the people, Mr. Pierre, I don't shop too.
Culture man.
Everybody run out of brown sugars.
Culture man, that is not true.
Why they buying it? And why you self buying it? Huh? You don't face the facts, man. You don't want to face.
Okay, thank you. During the Christmas, it was not a fact that all supermarkets run out of sugar. There are some places perhaps that did not have sugar, but others had. And when the government increased the price of these things, they contribute to the cost of living going up. while they cut social programs. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. First, these students, I think you need to cut a little bundle of grass for each one of them, and with a little bucket of water, and give to them, because I don't know, I can't understand the argument, right? Something has to be wrong with them. So maybe something wrong with the diet. The next thing about it is that, Mr. Pierre, there is silence now with the actions of Iran, what the attack on Israel. Now, we have persons in our society and throughout the world. They really hate the Jewish people. But the main hatred is for the God of the Jews. So while they are pretending that they just hate the Jewish people, they also hate God. Because their whole thing is that the Jews should be wiped out from the face of the earth. Because the Bible tells us that salvation is of the Jews. Our Heavenly Father gave us his words in Hebrew. So if they could wipe out the Jews, that means that we will never come to the true knowledge of the truth. Now, the thing about it is that the Jews only occupy a small portion of land on this earth. Most of them will tell you, God created all of us. Yes, God created all of us. But the truth is that he also tells us that he made from one blood all nations of men to dwell on all the face of the earth. And he is the one that determined the pre-appointed times and the boundaries of the habitation. So he gave them this piece of land. Look the amount of land that the Arabs have. But what they're trying to do is to wipe out the Jews from the face of the earth. And a number of our people who are falsely accusing the Jewish people of genocide, what they want is genocide for the Jews. Because from the river to the sea means wipe out every Jew on the face of the earth. But I have bad news for them. They shall never succeed. They shall never succeed. Have a good day, sir.
And some of the voices you are hearing, as you're correct, they are very, very silent now. Even Gerard Paul, Father Gerard Paul, was making all sorts of issues because the church, he felt the church should condemn Israel. Even he, I have not heard from now. Maybe some of them really want the Jews to be wiped out from the face of the earth. That is what Iran want. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yeah.
And a pleasant afternoon to your listening audience.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Pierre, listen. I don't support the some of the abusive, words in some of the Arab countries, constitution and charter when it comes to Israel. I don't support that because, there is no, they need to talk about wiping out and from this to the sea and things like that. I understand that. But we also have to accept the fact that Israel is very heavy-handed in their approach, like they do business, like they could do things how they want, this way and that way. And it cannot be like that. You understand? When you look at what is taking place in Gaza, I'm not in favor of saying of Hamas coming in and doing what they did and go back. But tell me, if Israel response is not abusive, is not bordering on the side of genocide, what take place there and what is taking place there, and after 6 months of doing all of that, they still have eliminate the leadership of Hamas, and they still have not get back the hostages. You understand? And now they're talking about going into Rafah, which will be much more catastrophic, if that's a good word to use, for what could take place there. No, all right. You bomb the Iranian consulate, see what it is in Syria. You have people talking about, oh, there was a military component. Even if most countries, they have the spies and the intelligence people working out of the foreign embassy and consulate. You go, you bomb it, and you kill some of the top people. What I want to ask people is that this is like people's sovereignty that's been violated. No, Iran will respond forcefully. What we have to understand is that they did respond forcefully. Because when you send over 300 projectiles at a country, it means to do a lot of harm and destruction. So that could have clearly shown you what Iran's intent was. Because that was the red line. Mr. Pierre, give me another minute. I'm going to leave that there. Now, cost of living. Brother, cost of living is not something to call and defend at this time. Because if items that we use on a daily basis, and let us say 5 of them went down under the government, other went up. These are not things, talking points which you take on. Mr. Pierre, quickly here, listen to this. Despite the fact I have supported the NNP over the last 15 years, when we lost the last general election, I really wanted to see the NDC be a successful. Why? It's because I was a committed member and a dedicated supporter of that party. So I wanted to see them do well. So I hope they can do well enough that will guarantee them a second term. They need to be very careful how they handle the first term, which will give them a very good opportunity in the second term. But the kind of accusations of wrongdoing, cronyism, corruption, and misappropriation of funds that no one in position of authority is addressing is unfortunate. Somebody in position needs to call this program and say to Mr. Pierre that you are lying to the people. No minister of government receive million in loan from that bank, the GDP. Because if that's the case, it's a very not nice practice, especially if you was not qualified to get the same amount from a commercial bank. Mr. Pierre, restoration justice is not words we should be flaunting with. It's not words that NDC should be flaunting with in the first term. Because when people really get to understand what that means, what would happen when the NLP get back into office? Mm-hmm. Then you start to cry victimization. I would like to close by that despite the fact of the challenges the present government is facing, there is a silver lining for them, the NNP, and that depends on who the NNP choose to lead them going forward. I thank you for the time.
Yes, scholar, and I agree with you on a lot of instances. Both Israel and Iran and all of them, they challenge legality, they challenge morality. It's a difficult situation in the Middle East. But one of the biggest issues, because Iran do not recognize Israel's right to exist. Hamas and the meeting that took place in Khartoum, they came with these 3 famous no's. No recognition of Israel's right to exist. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, something simple I want to put to the fore, right? We have this thing called the WASH program right now, right? Yeah, Mr. Pierre?
Yeah.
And the WASH program was touted to be a brainchild of Honorable Deacon Mitchell and the starting St. David's in Belle Isle and Uncare PSD. And there was a figure given to that particular WASH program for each toilet and bathroom that was to be built. Now, Mr. Pierre, I am no mathematician, but I was pondering this thing for a couple of weeks well. So here this, let me get a little synopsis if you're marking them. Let's say you buy some blocks, right? Let's say you buy 500 blocks for at least $5 for one. That is 2005. You buy some tiles, buy 12 tiles. Let's say you buy 10 boxes, and tiles not that expensive. So let's say you pay $2,000. You buy a toilet around $500. You buy some pipe fittings and some shower heads $1,000, and pipe fittings not that expensive. Let's say you pay 3 men to work for 4 days at $140. That is $1,600, right? $80 for the 4 days. That money that I just added up there, Mr. Pierre, comes up to $8,080, right? Let me go as to say, let me spend $15,000 for a bathroom and toilet. No, let's say $15,000. I want to know. There's a reason why I'm asking this question. How
it cost 30.
The Honorable Prime Minister get to that figure? And it dawned on to me that this WASH program has been given the green light to go ahead through this thing called Nation Builders, Mr. Pierre. Nation Builders are the one that is spearheading this WASH program. So it goes through them, which is supposed to be an NGO. Now, we see in the parliament, them men go and raise the procurement act from 15,000 to 100,000. You see where I'm going, Mr. Pierre?
Yes, I understand.
There is no builder in Grenada. If anyone can dare me on this, because Mr. Pierre, I buy tiles for here, for where I live in. I buy all these materials, what I just talked about. And none of them in past $10,000. None. So I want Deacon Mitchell and the Minister of Finance and Honorable Dr. Mitchell, when you go in the parliament, ask them a question, because I want to know how a bathroom and toilet is costing $30,000 EC, where there's houses that cost the same. The houses in St. David's up there, one of the condos that I say, is around 50,000 to 70,000. Go up, right? So you're telling me a bathroom and toilet, which is less than a fraction of the size of these houses up there, costing almost half of these houses up there? Make that make sense. And secondly, Mr. Pierre, before I go, I thought it was only in the Caribbean we have poor and vulnerable people. In America right now, in certain states, they are raising the minimum wage for fast food workers from $12 to $20, right? That's under the Biden Affordable Care Act. Those in America who they in the diaspora, NEC goons and NEC supporters, both supporters, NMP and NMP, you all know what I'm talking about, because some of y'all working there. From $12 to $20. The Republicans are voting against all these increases. The Republicans, imagine that, right? These monies, when you check it out, these people have to pay rent, they have to pay gas, they have to pay transportation, all these things. And when you do check up all what they have to pay for at the end of the month, that $20 still not enough. So we in Grenada here, when we say we are poor and vulnerable, we have our level of it. And the NDC don't seem to grasp the idea. And to me, the NDC of Grenada today is the Republican Party in America right now. Mr. Pierre, have a good afternoon.
Well, I don't agree with you on this Republican issue. To compare NDC with the Republican, I think NDC don't deserve to be compared with any group. It's the most vulture group. It's a group of vultures I see. Anytime you have political parties, that policy is to go after the elderly, the physically challenged, disadvantaged children, then that is a group of vultures. They cut the social program. They gave money to themselves and their friends. They plunder the GDP bank. They are acting as agents for the CBI program. And when you think they cannot come us, they make their own non-governmental organization. Yes, caller, welcome. They make their own NGO. This is a scam. Now, where is the level of decency in this group of vultures? NGO is a non-governmental organization. The NDC make their own non-governmental organization. That is a scam. That is crooked. How could you tolerate that in a country? That's corruption of the worst kind. The NDC have their agents as those who involve in the NGO. They make their own NGO. Oh, I mean, come on. You can't do these things. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
You have to cut off the radio.
Yeah, cut off the radio.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I hear people speaking about give people longer grass. Mr. Pierre, these same people ask them one simple question. What is that true? They could never answer that question.
Caller, you don't even know what is true.
I know what is that true.
You don't know what is truth because you see, we've been accusing the government for telling lies, and you can't defend it. The NDC is telling the most lies. You can't defend, and you're not supposed to support declines.
Mr. Pierre, you could tell me what is that true? You, Mr. Pierre.
No, I don't know what is the truth. You have a different truth from other people.
A Jew. No, I ain't talking about truth. What is a Jew? Who is a Jew? That is the question. I ain't talking about truth. Mr. Pierre, I listen to people talking about NDC thing. No, you can't prove nothing. All you're saying there. All you're saying there is propaganda.
Caller,
Wait,
let me speak about this one. The GDP Bank. Do you agree that the ministers should be taking money from the GDP Bank? Caller, the GDP Bank. Just call us back if you please. I think we're just about to come to the end of our program. So sorry, we don't have another time for you, but you could call us back the next time we're on the program. And our concern is that the National Democratic Congress have to sit down and check themselves. It's going to have serious consequences for us in Grenada. One, the government policy on restorative justice. And the government set up the MIT for political mischief. The government seems to be legalizing illegality. When they raise the amount of money that you could use for a contract from 15,000 to 100,000 is an opportunity for corruption. The GDP Bank, more than 1/3 of the members of government have taken loan from the bank that they would not be able to qualify for in a commercial bank. And the government boards that is set up seems to be sham boards. So I want to appeal to members of the National Democratic Congress to nudge Deacon to discontinue these corruption practices. And we're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another opportunity to punch. Thank you very much.